Hi, my beautiful people. I'm back with another manifesting journey video. Just a few words to just encourage you guys on your manifesting journeys because I know it can get really challenging. What I want to really talk about today is talking about the power of surrendering to your desire when you've manifested. But this comes at a later stage because usually in the beginning stages, I always say my manifesting journey is always divided into three stages or phases, whatever you want to call it. So I say that, okay, the first stage is usually that part where you are now just exposed to the manifesting journey and you acquire all this knowledge and you listen to every coach, every manifestation coach, manifestation teacher, every material, law of attraction, law of assumption. Is just the whole mix and shebang. And that's where you're getting exposed to how to use your mind to get what you want out of life or to create the life that you've wanted for yourself. So all that knowledge is very exciting. You hyped up, and sometimes it comes with that enthusiasm where you're just like, oh, okay, I'm ready to do it. It sounds so easy, it sounds so interesting, and then you're reading all the comments and you're just absorbing everything, people's success stories, all that. It's good because you are still in the obsessed stage, you are still acquiring. Obsession is not always bad, right? Because now it helps you to focus, because of the obsession you are getting so much knowledge. And that's where I was at. I had the this first phase where I just took in everything. I binged watched every other coach, every other person's success stories. I just binged watched everything, okay? And it felt good because I was at a very low stage in my life last year. And what led me to get into this manifesting journey was actually my love life, my SP. It was just bad. I just realized that I want this person in my life. And at that time, it was last year at the beginning of the year, at this time in my life, I was just feeling like things are very unstable, and I felt like I was chasing. I didn't know anything about the law of manifesting. I've heard about it before, tried it, I'm like, this thing doesn't work. About 5 years before then. So last year it happened that my partner was just this person that I was interested in. We didn't make anything official. It was very touch and go, and I was like doing all the chasing in that relationship. I wanted him more than he wanted me. I wasn't really sure about how he felt, and I just think to him I was just this person that when he feels like doing something, he'll do it. He didn't really consider me a very steady part of his life. So that's what got me into this journey, because it was last year. Like, if you check my other video about how I manifested my SP from a long distance relationship, I go into detail as to how we got together. But that's what got me there, the unstable situation between me and my SP at that time, and then him moving away. And just when we were getting closer, then he just moved to another city, and my goodness, that was difficult. That's how I got into this. The panic, the anxiety, the fear of not having him got me into this journey. It led me here. So love led me to the LOA. Love led me here. So what I'm saying about, I got into the first stage where you absorb all that knowledge, and then once you absorbed it, you're like, I'm ready for the next stage. The next stage is where you now want to apply. You are applying the knowledge that you've acquired from all these coaches, from everything, all the sources that you might have come across. So now you are applying all of this, and this is the longest phase, the longest stage, the longest whatever you want to call it, like I said, because now you are applying things and you are adding time frames, and you're like, by this time this is going to take 30 days, because you have different coaches that tell you to try techniques, especially the law of attraction. It has a lot of techniques and stuff. They'll tell you to do the honey method. Guys, I did everything, okay? I did the honey method. I put the honey, there's still the jar up there with the honey that I did last year for 30 days. And there's a book, literally an entire book, where I had all my methods that I was doing at the same time. Guys, I wasn't doing a method, I was trying the honey method at the same time, I was doing the scripting method at the same time, I was doing the, what do they call it, the tap method, the show whatever method. I forgot them, but I did them. I was doing everything at the same time. And like I said, this is the longest time because you get to realize what works for you. And during this time I was like, okay, but why aren't these things not working? And I didn't realize that at that time, that my internal state, how I thought, still my dominant thoughts were that of the old shitty story about, I always lose the guys that I get in. Every time I get into a relationship with a guy, I always, just when I'm about to get excited about them, I lose them. So I had that mentality like, it's only about a matter of time, they always choose someone else. my success with love is short-lived, like all those kind of beliefs I had. That was the situation, guys. Hence I'm saying that the second phase of manifesting is the longest phase, because you're applying this, you're applying that, and it's mixed with a lot of frustration, because when you don't see results and you have this expectation that it's gonna work, which is good, but then now, because you're operating from a place of lack and dominant state of negativity that you've harbored for all these years up until you've known this thing. So imagine how long it's gonna take for you to, how much resistance you have versus what you've always known your whole life, or what you've believed about yourself when it comes to love. So that's why I say it takes forever. Well, according to me, that felt like forever, but I started last year, so it wasn't really forever, because a year later, a couple of months, I have my SP. You see, everything is working, so it doesn't take forever, but it feels like forever when you're trying a method. I did the whisper techniques, I did everything, guys. And that's when I came across the law of assumption, and this is the one that worked the most because it resonated with my personality. And I think it's so important that you find what works for you and what resonates with you as a person. So that's when I found the law of attraction coaches, Sammy Ingram, all these other people that talk about affirming. That's who I am. Affirm, and I actually found that it's actually good to speak life, because it resonates more with my faith. I'm a Christian, so I pray a lot, and I speak the word of God over my life. So I'm like, okay, but then it really helps me in my faith as well, because this law of assumption journey helped me to sort of be steady in my faith, because the word of God says in Mark 11 verse 22 to 24 that believe you've received something first, and then you will have it. So you have to believe that God has healed you in order for you, before you can get the healing, before you experience the healing. You gotta believe that He has met your needs before you can see a performance of that in your life. And that's really, really helped me in my spiritual life with God and stuff. And then it affected my journey. And the minute I started affirming repetitively, I was on repetition, I was on the loop. So you find, I started creating what I wanted to see, scenes and words, like what do I want to see? If I had my SP, if I had the money that I want, if I had the job that I want, what would it look like? So I am thankful that I have my specific person. We are in a loving committed relationship. So that persistence and the discipline to affirm what you want, what you are believing for, that's what helped me to end up seeing a movement, lots of movements actually, and my self-concept improved, because I would affirm for myself on the loop, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm breathtakingly beautiful, I feel good about myself, because I didn't even have a good relationship with myself. I was like my worst enemy. We used to believe the worst things about myself. I used to believe that I'm ugly and all this kind of stuff, that it's easy for people to let me down, it's easy for people to just drop me, stuff like that. So I had to change all that, take the opposite of that, what I didn't want, and only affirm the opposite of the things that I didn't want, and really focus on what I want, not what I don't want. So that was a very key formula. And then now I moved to what? After I have gotten all of that, it took months and months with a trial and error, but then you go back onto the wagon. Like I said, this is a stage where you feel like giving up. Moved on to the third phase, which is the third stage now is what? This is where the resting phase, the Sabbath, the place of surrender. Now in this stage, you are now used to it. You've seen so much movement. Your faith is actually embedded. You kind of got the hang of it. That's where you don't really obsess about your desire. You don't obsess about your manifestations. You just like, if you think about something, it's automatic now. Your subconscious mind has gotten a hold of your affirmations, because it's so constant, it's so dominant, you're always affirming. So the subconscious mind already knows, oh, when she thinks about love, this is what she does. If she thinks about money, this is what she does. When she thinks about this is what we need to do, and this is what needs to show up in her reality. So you enter the race. That's where you get to have one affirmation, like, oh yeah, my boyfriend and I, things are so great. Sometimes you don't even affirm. You don't even like think obsessively about your desire, because it's just it's the knowing phase, it's the resting phase, it's the surrender. It's where you accept that I love my desire, I am living in the reality of my desire, this is the best part, and you want to get there. So to get to this point of rest, the third phase, you need to persist. There's nothing else that I can tell you other than, guys, even when you don't feel like it, you gotta do it, because you are changing your life, you are changing your mindset, you are changing 10 years, a decade of negative thoughts. So it is gonna take some work. You can't just do something in a day and think you are done, unless you are that person who doesn't have a lot of resistance. Then I always say also, the time that it takes for you to experience your desires, it's the depends on your opposition, your opposing thoughts, your resistance, right? Your ability to believe. How quickly do you believe and get into that state? It can happen overnight. And as soon as you think that way, when you feel like there is no bridges, there are no oppositions, where there is no resistance, then you see that the performance is quite fast, right? The manifestation sort of instantly happens, if not in a few days. So you really need to train your mind and be and realize where you are at. Be aware, okay, am I in the first phase, the second phase, the third phase? And the second phase needs a lot of patience, and it shouldn't be work. Like I said, in the third phase, now you're like, it is my lifestyle now, it's how I live. But in the second phase, you are now, you're seeing movement, so your faith is being strengthened, your faith is being like built, molded, and it's the longest, but it's also one of the best phases because you learn so much about yourself. This is a phase where you get to love yourself, even you come out there so much better, because the third phase is the resting phase, is the OG phase. This is the kings and the queens sit there like, I know this, I'm a master man, like, we got this, but the second phase, you work really hard. The first and the second phase, you work really, really hard. But I really hope that you guys will take this into consideration, so that you can check where you're at and what needs to be done there, so that you can be patient with yourself and be like, I'm still in, because I'm consistently reacting to certain things, it means that I am still in the second phase or the first phase, where you are accumulating information, trying to figure out what works best for you. You're still in the first phase. The second phase, you're still applying things. The third phase is where you're like, okay, I've got this now. I've got this. You can even correct yourself. You even know when you're going off, the path, and you can bring yourself back. So guys, I really hope that this is going to help you, because it's really helped me a lot. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to comment. And I just want to say thank you guys. I'm on 40 subscribers now, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I do believe that you deserve the best of what I have to offer, regardless of the number of people that are there. I do this because I love it, and I love sharing my stories with others, whether it's an audience of 1 or an audience of 100, it doesn't really matter. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that this video really helped you to stay focused and to not lose hope. If I could do it, so can you. I'll see you on the other side of consistency, the other side of persistence, the other side of your manifesting story. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow, and we can help more people. Love you. Bye.